The wedding was perfect. At least, that's what everyone kept saying. The soft glow of fairy lights, the quiet hum of music, the gentle clinking of glasses, and the warm laughter of family and friends. Everything felt elegant, almost cinematic, like a scene taken straight out of a beautiful English romance. White roses lined the aisle. A light breeze carried the scent of fresh flowers through the garden venue. Even the sky seemed to cooperate, painted in a soft golden evening light. It was the kind of day people dream about, the kind of day that promises a perfect beginning. Before we move forward, take a moment to like this video, leave a comment, and subscribe to our Pro English Stories channel for more meaningful and emotional stories. I remember standing there, holding his hand. His name was Oliver. Calm, composed, and quietly kind in a way that felt reassuring. He gave my hand a gentle squeeze, as if to say everything was going to be all right, and I believed him. I truly did. I believed this was the start of something beautiful, something lasting, something safe. I smiled through the photographs, through the speeches, through the endless congratulations. Everyone kept telling us how perfect we looked together, how lucky we were. And in that moment, I felt it too. I felt lucky. But no one talks about what happens after the music fades, after the last guest leaves, after the door closes behind you, when it's no longer a celebration, but a life. That evening, the house was quiet, not peaceful, not comforting, just quiet. The kind of quiet that makes you aware of every little sound, the ticking of the clock, the faint creak of the floorboards, the soft rustle of fabric as we moved around the room. It felt unfamiliar, like stepping into a place that was meant to be yours, but didn't feel like it yet. We stood there for a moment, neither of us quite knowing what to do. He loosened his tie slowly. I adjusted the sleeves of my dress. Small movements, careful ones, as if we were both trying not to disturb something fragile. We smiled at each other, polite, gentle, almost like strangers meeting for the first time. "Long day," he said. "Yes," I replied softly, and then nothing. The silence stretched between us, not harsh, not uncomfortable in an obvious way, but present, heavy, waiting. We sat on opposite sides of the bed, close enough to reach out, but somehow not close at all. I had imagined this moment differently. Laughter, ease, warmth. Instead, there was hesitation and something else, something unspoken. The next morning arrived quietly. A pale, English sunlight filtered through the curtains. Soft, grey, calm. It should have felt peaceful, but it didn't. I woke up before him and simply lay there for a moment, listening, thinking, trying to understand why something felt slightly off. When I finally got up, I could hear him in the kitchen, the gentle clatter of a kettle, the opening of cupboards, the sound of teaspoons against ceramic cups. Ordinary sounds, familiar sounds, but they felt strangely distant. I stood in the doorway for a moment before walking in. He turned slightly when he noticed me. There was a brief pause, then a small smile. "Morning," he said. "Morning," I replied. Simple words, polite, expected, but they lacked something I couldn't quite name. We moved around each other carefully, passing cups, reaching for things at the same time, then stepping back, apologizing softly. Sorry. No, it's all right. Over and over again. It felt formal, like we were guests in each other's lives. Breakfast was quiet, not intentionally. It just was. The ticking of the wall clock felt louder than our voices. I stirred my tea slowly, watching the ripples in the cup as if they might give me answers. Later that day, something small happened. So small, it should have meant nothing. But somehow, it meant everything. A cup was left on the table. That was all, just a cup. But it stayed there. Neither of us moved to pick it up. I noticed it. He noticed it. And yet, we both pretended not to. It wasn't about the cup. It was about what it represented. Whose responsibility was it? Should I do it? Should he? Do I say something? Or stay quiet? It was such a simple thing, and yet it felt complicated. That was the moment something shifted inside me. Living together wasn't about grand gestures. It was about these tiny, invisible decisions, moments that quietly define everything. That evening, the silence returned. He sat on the sofa, scrolling through his phone. I sat beside him, watching something I wasn't really paying attention to. Every now and then, I glanced at him, wanting to say something, anything, but the words never came. I kept thinking, this isn't how it's supposed to feel. It's not supposed to be this careful, this measured. Days passed, and the distance didn't disappear. It settled. It became routine. We spoke when necessary. We smiled when expected. We avoided what felt uncertain. Until one evening, something inside me finally gave in, or perhaps gave way. He was sitting at the edge of the bed, the same place as always, the same quiet routine. I sat beside him. My hands felt cold. My thoughts were racing, not with fear of him, but fear of the moment, fear of breaking whatever this fragile balance was. But I couldn't stay silent anymore. I feel like we don't talk, I said. The words came out softer than I expected, but they carried everything I had been holding inside. He stopped completely. Then, slowly, he turned to look at me. Not defensive, not distant, just present. For the first time, there was a pause, a long one, and then he spoke. I didn't know how to start. There was honesty in his voice, a quiet vulnerability. And suddenly, everything made sense. He wasn't distant, he was unsure, just like me. That night, we talked, properly, not perfectly. There were pauses, awkward moments, small misunderstandings, but there was honesty. We spoke about expectations, about fear, about the pressure to be perfect, to say the right thing, to feel the right way. We laughed a little at ourselves, at the awkwardness of it all. And slowly, something softened, not dramatically, but gently, like tension releasing bit by bit. Over time, we learned not just about each other, but about how to exist together, comfortably, Naturally, we learned that silence isn't always empty. Sometimes it just needs understanding. The cup on the table stopped being a question. It became something simple, something shared. And the space between us, it changed. It became warmer, more familiar, less fragile. And that's when I understood something important. Marriage doesn't begin with a wedding. It begins in the quiet moments that follow, in the hesitation, in the uncertainty, in the courage to speak when it feels easier to stay silent. Because love isn't just about feeling something. It's about building something, slowly, patiently, honestly. So, if you ever find yourself sitting in silence beside someone you love, don't wait for the perfect words. There are no perfect words, only real ones. And sometimes that's all it takes to turn silence into something meaningful. If this story felt real to you, like, comment, and subscribe to our Pro English Stories channel for more stories that speak to the heart.